My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to more Strain 2. Stygian Hellhound. I don't mind if I do. We've got a Malika's Shifting Pyre as our Pyre Heart. All drafted cards appear with an upgrade. We've got 2 copies of Crypt Builder, rather in the base deck. Offering Attuned, retreat front enemy unit and deal 80 damage. 2 copies of Hornbreak, which is piercing and deals 5 damage twice. A single Siren. I'd love to tell you what a name is, but I don't know it. 1 Ember, 2 Size. Incant gains Rage 3. And Seraph at turn has chosen of Entropy is going to be silencing us. Just occasionally, though. Our lead is Tethys. I think... Have I gone all the way down 2 of Tethys's lines at the moment, I think? No. I diversify with Tethys a lot of the time because the sweep and the damage spells cost negative are both really good pickups. I could see a world where I try and get really, really large amounts of defense in front of Tethys and then just frostbite units appropriately. But even then, it's much better with sweep. Merchant of Steel, Stygian Banner, Merchant of Magic, Hellhorn. So I get a Stygian and a Hellhorn unit early. Merchant of Steel, Stygian. I get another Stygian Banner, Merchant of Magic afterwards. Okay, we're almost certainly going some deep incant run. Nameless Siren. Wait. Imps in the base deck? Okay, so we have chump blockers, I guess. I feel like, courtesy of not actually having that much damage just yet, we could really benefit from Chillwind, just giving us the ability to topple over bosses. Frostbite isn't really well supported at MT2. The Frostbite numbers compared to the amount of HP of enemies just doesn't really favorably compare. Spell Weakness 1 would set up Spell Weakness for the enemy when they get to the second line, which, it's okay if I immediately hit them with a Crypt Builder or something like that. Gives us sweep, though. Gives us sweep. Let's take it. Sweep. It's sweep. Start a turn, friendly units gain +5/+5 if they're on a floor by themselves. Sure. It's unlikely we really get to utilize that much, but if we do, it'll be pretty good. Last time I turned that down, I immediately regretted it. I don't want to put myself in that position again. Okay, single Tethys there, then that. So I'm using Imps to chump block on the bottom line as well. There we go. Hardly need to chump block if you just kill them. Frostbite would have really helped. That said, we've got some additional incant for the next line. And of course, the target will have some spell weakness on them. 3 spell weakness by the time they get up here. Woof. Ooh, I almost certainly draw a Crypt Builder in the next hand, so I think what I do is just set up Imps to try and chump block on the top. And there's the Crypt Builder. Much better multiplier, 60/3 rather than 10/3. Ooh, hello. It's the power of Malika's Shifting Pyre, Cuddle Hex. End of turn, apply Frozen to a random card in your hand, and also Conduit 5 for 0 Ember? Pretty good. Helical Crystallis with Holdover, deals 25 damage to the front enemy unit twice. Not half bad in a world where you do have Tethys giving spell weakness. Flash Freeze Intrinsic deals 3 damage, apply Frostbite 8. Helical Crystallis is certainly a little more appealing in the world as well, where I would go into a Merchant of Magic early. Cuddlehex is unlikely to end up on a relevant floor right now. The additional capacity is currently being used by chumps. I don't think I'm going to regret having a Cuddlehex, though. Helical Crystallis does what I'm already doing, which is damage to the front enemy unit, damage to the front enemy unit, damage to the front enemy unit, front enemy unit, front enemy unit, like... Let's take the Cuddlehex. Ooh. Hidden Passage, Holdover, Ascend. Really good for overstacking the top floor. Overstacking the top floor, unfortunately, isn't that good. Vent. It already has a consume on it. I think I'll take that. It's just a one-time AoE clear that gets better. Endless and Incant both here, and there's a Stygian unit. Hello? Oh, yeah. Icy Silophyte and Nameless Siren with Incant, with plus 10 health and spikes 3. So finding a way to give quick to Tethys on the bottom line would be the ideal way to get my quick sweep, but there's also a world where I could just take the Icy Silophyte and try and find a way to give it quick. Possibly even in the Merchant. Taking a second Nameless Siren here seems like a bad idea, because... Sure, it's got a little extra health, but it doesn't have much. At least Icy Silophyte can stand on the floor by itself and get +5/+5 every turn from Wanderer's Talisman pretty effectively. I wonder if that's actually what I do with her. No, but then she can't get quick. Upgrade a unit with Endless. I don't see wanting any of these that many times. Incant for armor on Nameless Siren's a really easy hit. I think I take the reroll here. Yeah. Oh my god. Which do I do, though? So Dualism gives us the busted Nameless Siren. Quick gives us the Icy Silophyte actually taking down enemies. 13 damage. It's enough to take down most annoying enemies. I think I have to do it. Additional health and some rage. Do I need to put those on units right now? I think because of the sweep, we're pretty far ahead. And I might be able to argue to hold on to my resources here. Yeah, enemy unit to on each floor is completely fine by me. Yep, top line Icy Silophyte just kills all of them before anything happens. Should I think I should cast on the midline, the vent, just to save some HP there. Even though the next floor would have been completely fine. Because I don't want to have to combat by myself on the top line. Perfect turn to burn out a Calcified Ember, though. Also, this early in the game, the +5/+5 that the Silophyte is getting every round is more than enough to really support it. Cuddlehex top line makes a lot of sense there, actually. Then Impling, Shard, and then Implink the top. The idea here being that we'll get a Crypt Builder and a bunch of spell weakness. Well, I say a bunch, probably only... Oh, 2! Nice, that's more than I thought. Yeah, and then the real combat occurs on top line. Get him, Silophyte! Wow. Offering token in a deck where I already have 2 copies of the Crypt Builder, and I'm going to be versing the Seraph of Entropy, and I'm going to the Titans. Of course. Ritual of Battle, intrinsic -1 cost. Fortified double stack, or Welder Helper with dualism. All of these are great. Welder Helper with dualism is a huge amount of armor for a unit to apply. Not that hard to get some form of endless, bring you back again. Fortify, of course, just a large amount of armor for a spell to be able to give for 0. That said, my spells aren't that expensive, especially the Crypt Builders that can be bypassed on their cost. Ritual of Battle? Ritual of Battle is 24 additional damage for a Tethys that's sweeping. Or even a Icy Silophyte. It's additional damage on demand. God, all of these are incredible. What do I need, though? Additional damage comes to mind mostly. In the Ritual of Battle. Also worth noting, it's a spell I'm about to go to. Oh my god. I'm about to go to the spell upgrade space so I can make it ridiculous by, I don't know, double stacking it to give 24 rage for 2 Ember on turn 1. Seems pretty good to me. Holdover on offering token absolutely happens, and double stack on ritual. Yo, Horned Warrior with multi-strike and quick. Yo. I think Nameless Siren's the tank on the 2nd floor now, just with that incant gain armor 2. Steelworker, realistically, Steelworker with plus 10 damage and spikes 3 on resolve, adding armor 6 to friendly units. Let me check. Oh, that is a Steelworker, not a rail beater. Okay, we go. Oh, we're fine. Horned Warrior is an insane target for the Ritual Battle with that multi-strike and quick. Actually, they're ridiculously good with that. Yeah. Yep. Whoa, hello! This early. Friendly units gain plus 3 health for each rare card in your deck. Currently, that stands at 0. Yorick, when a card with Consume is played, gain 25 gold. I have exactly 1 Consume card in the entire deck. It is pretty early, so I could start playing into this. I'm probably going Merchant of Steel Stygian Banner in the next area. And probably Merchant of Magic Stygian Banner after that. I'm probably going to have to go Capacity to fit the amount of units I'm currently thinking about. Capacity and Energy, probably. I mean, AAA obviously becomes really good in just a second. I get my first boss unit pretty soon. Gros Michel is really good for the damage of Horned Warrior. Both in its original version and then as soon as it becomes Cavendish as well. That said, 1% chance it gets destroyed every single round. It's fine. The other options weren't significantly better than it. If I got the per KO for Calcified Embers becoming, Calcified Embers becoming Excavated Embers after you'd not play them 1, that would have been the real one to take. So I kind of want to run my bottom line as Icy Silophyte Horned Warrior behind. Because I'm pretty sure that if I do that, nothing except for Archeon ever gets to attack. And I can chump, for Archeon. So Nameless Siren protects Tethys on the 2nd floor. Just a single shield steward. Getting those +5/+5s. Yeah, 71 damage on Rage from the Icy Silified I think will do fine. I think, oh, I don't know. Maybe. Nice. I'll even chump a full Spear Steward for that line. Hell, and I'll just keep on incanting. Yeah, unfortunately, we make Archeon very powerful here on this bottom line this turn. But we can also chump against you. It's just you're going to leave this floor with a lot of rage. Still want to be able to chump on all the available floors. I think Cuddle Hex has got to go middle. Queen Simpling hits top. Get a Queen Simpling ready for the midline as well. Set up the next turn. And I'm going to Hornbreak an enemy on the bottom line so I don't have to even worry about the spike damage in response. Would have preferred to remove the spell weakness with something else, but it's also really important that I actually... Nice. Cast as many incants as I can on that floor. Ancient Synergy. Deal damage to the front enemy unit equal to 2 times the number of spells in your deck 3 times. Reasonable in a world where I'm using spell weakness on enemies sometimes. The best part of this is definitely the fact that it's got a Holy Stone on it, so I can pay 3 for it and gain 3 Ember to the pyre. Ice and Bier, not especially useful for us, and Siren Song, in the right circumstance or in the Titan fight. That's particularly useful. Against flying bosses, this is particularly useful as well. I'm definitely going to be adding a lot of spells to this deck because we're doing incants. Give me that Ancient Synergy. Siren of the Sea? Horned Warrior with Conduit doesn't really matter. I could take a Siren of the Sea as just another Stygian unit for that second line. I think I will. I want capacity. And I think the next might have to be energy, even if I want draw. So what I'm really looking for is a defender for the bottom line and modifications for Nameless Siren or Siren of the Sea to make a better defensive second line. Quicken plus 10. Maybe we've got enough of that already. Oh. Lodestone Totem. Incantable sub 1 to enemy units. I mean, it's incredible. It's very expensive. It's a good amount of defense. It wants to go on the incant floor. The incant floor doesn't want to be the same floor as the Siren. Well, does it? I think there's a good argument to split the Horned Warrior off of the incant line, and then the incant line becomes Siren of the Sea, protecting Nameless Siren, protecting Icy Silophyte, and then Tethys just at the very back. And then the next floor is a Horned Warrior being defended by someone. I guess Lodestone Totem could be on the bottom floor, and then Tethys goes on the second floor as well. It's not gilded, also. Gotta gild that card. Merchant of Magic Stygian. I think it's unlikely I should go to the next Merchant of Magic Stygian. I think that's maybe too many units. I think having that one quick sweeper on the bottom line is going to save us needing most of our other units to be quick. I think there's a reasonable argument that I could just give Rage 10 to the Horned Warrior and I'll never be sad about having done that. Smidgestone is a little harder. Dualism plus 14. All of those are a little harder. I don't really want to put them on anyone. I only want to Smidgestone someone if I know I'm about to large stone them right now, and no one comes with 2 free slots for that at the moment. I'm going to take Handheld Totem too. So the idea here then becomes that the mid line, so the bottom line has the Icy Silophyte, giving spell weakness 1. The mid line has Tethys. So if they get to the top line, by the time they get there, hopefully the spell weakness is large enough that I can just blow them up with pretty much any spell. That's the idea. Magic. Most of the spells that I would want upgrades on already have the upgrades I would want on them right now. So it does feel like it's another Merchant of Steel in the second area. Looking for Dualism, looking for Titanite, looking for Large Stone, maybe? And a Press Stone spawned on each floor. That's a little annoying for some of our characters like Lodestone Totem, who's now attacking for no good reason. Plus 14 damage from the Malika's Shifting Pyre, as well as plus 10 from the Former Shell. I don't think I should summon a Horned Warrior when I know it's immediately gonna die. Like, how would I even support its health? Nothing? I have nothing that can do that? Nice. You lost that Cavendish. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get the Penitent Press down done to a point that's a good idea, I don't think, unfortunately. It's probably just Ancient Synergy then, right? Whoop. Can't do anything about that Collector on the top line, unfortunately. I'm going to summon the Lodestone Totem for the bottom line. Because everything survives this turn even if I do that. And I'm also going to keep the Frozen Lances in my hand for the next turn. The general idea here being that if I keep all of these spells in my hand for the next turn, I can sap the boss. Guess who forgot what boss they're fighting? I can sap the boss enough to try and counter their mechanics. Or not. Or they will absolutely wreck me and I'm gonna lose. Well, let's see what other options we have. I'm going to play out a Calcified Ember and then move to the next turn. I need to play a big spell for a bunch of spell weakness damage against Koto. That's the real possible success here. And Ancient Synergy will be that spell. Nice. Glacial Seal, Avarice 3, but unfortunately you never deal damage. Reserve, Permafrost Intrinsic, had Frozen Dual card in hand, but there's also Urchin Spikes here, Consume Spell Chain, and apply Spell Weakness 2 to enemy units. Good for incant, and good for damage. A Rage Serum that's had Consume removed, not up bad, 10 damage to a unit, 0 cost. Inflame though, consumes to apply Rage 6 and Armor 10 to a unit, armor application especially important here in a world where the Siren of the Sea is not currently saving itself entirely. Give me the Cavendish! So now our non-champion friendly units gain 3 times base damage, and there's a 1% chance of being destroyed every round of combat. So, that means... Bond Warrior, 55 base damage. Icy Silverbite, 19. Nameless Siren, 36. Siren of the Sea, 50. It's survivability of my own units. I really... Whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, dualism on Lodestone is nice, but dualism on Nameless Siren here for the double rage and double armor is huge. I think I could give plus 20 health to, like, Cuddle Hex. I'm never gonna be... I also could have done that to the Lodestone Totem, actually. Multi-strike? Or a Siren in the Sea? Or even incant gain armor on you. Yeah, incant gain armor. We need that bottom line. The Queen Simplings are such a useless card in this deck. Give me Dante right now. Do it. You won't. Worthy Sacrifice. Fecundity and Many Lives. Yeah, I guess we just throw Worthy Sacrifice on an imp. I guess there's a world where I could also have Fecundity on the Cuddle Hex and then just fill an entire line with Cuddle Hexes on the top. so that I could just hold every card at the end of turn if I want to. The only thing is I have to be able to guarantee that I can cast all those cards, or eventually my whole hand is full of cards I can't play. And that means I can't draw cards either. I think I'm better off with Worthy Sack for additional energy right now. Well, I wonder if Many Lives Reanimate on Nameless Siren, who has dualism, is better. Makes you a better tank for that bottom line. Yeah. Let's go with that. 110. So you want me to go right? Merchant Trinkets, sure. Right? Merchant of Arms, sure. Left? Merchant of Steel before the very end. Honestly, I can do that, but the only thing is I think I get my upgrade right, left. And then I get my upgrade after the Seraph fight. So I get the Stoat comes back right before we head into the Titans. So it's not really part of my full gameplay. Or game plan, rather. Honestly, Frenzy Stone and Speed Stone coming back and not really having a target for them is pretty embarrassing. Would like to have a target for them. Start a battle, enemy units repeating each floor. Corrupted Crusade. How do I want to handle this? I think I set up on top. And the job is finding... Tethys doesn't need to be there, though. I think I set up on top, and now the job is finding a appropriate chump so that all of the corruption doesn't go directly on the Nameless Siren for the top line. So obviously I'm hoping to draw an imp, but if I don't draw an imp, hoping maybe for the Mollusk Mage, I guess. Second line, you get dealt with in exactly the same way. Tethys and Horned Warrior, you hit the bottom line. And again, I guess I'm just looking for a chumper for you too. Shield Steel will help us out there. Oof. No jump block available for the top line. Nameless Iron's pretty unhappy about that. Midline, I suppose I just throw some units away. Get a Lodestone Totem on the bottom line, offering through a Crypt Builder, so that I can sap the ever-loving hell out of the enemies and not have to worry about them. Right, gotta make sure that I have a chomper for that bottom line as well still. I'm happy to keep either of the cards that we had in hand there. Here, Urchin Spines is pretty good. Saps the enemy a decent amount as well. really want to take advantage of their spell weakness, but they're going to have such low HP that it's not really going to matter later anyway. So there we go. Oh my god, got them down to their last life. And that'll do it. Apply Frozen to a card with Permafrost Spell Chain. Spell Chain, additional spell casts. Hold the right card for the right turn. I mean, it's nice. It's often going to be an excessive requirement, but I'm not turning down spells right now. Fire Jumper. Summon and gain 4 energy. Reasonably good, but branding right, deal 5 damage and apply 20 armor to a single unit. It's pretty much exactly the kind of thing that I need in this deck right now. Summon triggers an additional time. I don't think I have anything to take advantage of that right now. I'm not considering the Queen Simplings as cards that take advantage of that. Rage adds an additional damage per stack. We do have a decent amount of rage in the deck. I could easily take summon triggers later, so I'll still take that and then reroll. 50% chance to give spell weakness. No, thank you. When you play your third spell of a turn, all spells gain +1 magic damage for the rest of the battle. Alright. +1 magic power, specifically, actually. Ooh, Boiler Room, Sanctum, and Fight Club. I mean, Spell Sanctum for the bottom line immediately feels correct. But Boiler Room for the bottom line is kind of Spell Sanctum for the bottom line. Like, I'm not going to need more energy than that. Costs significantly less. Can trigger in the middle of a turn. Boiler Room. Impling fully defends the midline. Unless I want to sack that. Branding right comfortably defends the bottom. And then if I use both Frozen Lance and Vents, I can get the +1 magic power for all spells, as well as incant as many times as I can on the bottom line, which I need to get comfortable doing that as soon as I possibly can. Cuddlex Conduit 5 on the bottom line is okay. But I am holding out for the Lodestone Totem instead. Okay. We'll take a lot of damage on the bottom line, unfortunately. And the Chosen Supplicant managed to survive, but the future's a lot brighter in a world where I get to play a Lodestone Totem and start incanting. Unfortunately, the Discordant Bells are going to deal some damage to us here. Bottom line is just making the Icy Silophyte sweeping damage enough to kill the Supplicant. And by that measure, we succeed. Okay, 6 times spell weakness. So you'll take 7 times damage from this, which is, yeah, just under 1,000 damage from a Crypt Builder. Nice. And that's only going to get better. Unfortunately, we are losing the Nameless Siren on the bottom line this round. Okay, it's not going to be this round, but it will be next. That 18 corruption is just too much. So it's going to be pretty difficult to survive through that. So now let's get more corruption on you, because if you are going to die anyway, might as well not leave anything on the table. That said, because I actually have the resources to cast these additional cards. Oh my god, we actually kept the Nameless Siren alive. Just happen to have enough spells that turn, I guess. Good amount of sap for Kale, too. Nice. The Nameless Siren had to give her life for the cause, but just a couple more incants on this bottom line. I think we'll be pretty happy about it. So that's 25 stacks of spell weakness. You'll take 26 times damage from the next thing that hits you. Branding Right's not going to be enough. Ritual of Battle on the Horned Warrior was enough. I mean, Shield Steward saving as well, I guess, is pretty good too. Actually, Hornbreak is enough by itself. 260 damage from both hits. Turns out to be just enough, actually. Dark Deal. Deal 5 damage, apply Rage 7. Huge. Another Ancient Synergy. Hoarfrost Effigy. I do need to guild this at some point. I don't think this run is comfortable enough to do so. I also need to guild the Dark Deal, though, and I'm pretty happy to do that here. Especially because the damage boost it offers to the Icy Silophyte with 0 cost is incredible here. God, I do really want additional energy for deployment, but that's basically just so that I can summon a Lodestone Totem early. What I really need is draw. Stoic Blitmal. I mean, that just turns an imp into a big block for a little bit of time, but it's not enough a bit of time, unfortunately. Let's make the boiler room deployable. I could put Fight Club on the middle line. I wouldn't be too sad about it, of course. Stoic Late Mail Silencing, Horned Warrior. It doesn't remove multi-strike or quick. Disables triggers and abilities. I don't know, maybe it's exactly the right piece of equipment for the Horned Warrior. Let's give it a go. Imperial Well offers us the ability to dupe one of our cards. I mean, realistically, that Nameless Siren immediately comes to mind, being by far the better unit for the bottom line. And then the Siren of the Sea could come up to the mid instead, maybe. Branding Right's also really good. I think with enough consistency of incant, everything's good too. Which is where an offering token dupe here might come in. Okay. I'll take it. Start of battle. Enemy units we are on each floor. These are all the spell shields. So top line, I can take those out just throwing an Icy Silophyte up there if I really wanted to. I could throw Horned Warrior and hopefully like an Imp would... Well, actually, no, the Imp would kill them. Vent would do nothing. I think I need the money though. I think I really need this money. Unfortunately, for the main enemies, I do have to set up a low floor as well. So I have to figure out some way to save the top line as well. Icy Silophyte needs to be on the bottom, so does Nameless Siren. Not going to summon the Siren of the Sea down there just yet. And then top floor, you need a Horned Warrior, and ultimately Tethys is going to be up there too. First things first on bottom line, let's offering token our way through a Crypt Builder and Dark deal our damage. Great. Now on top, I think I can just go Spear Steward, give you Stoic Plate Mail, just so that I can save this line, and then the next line that comes up as well. And in the case of needing additional defense with the bottom line, Nameless Siren is going to get a branding right. Yeah, the corruption on Nameless Siren isn't incredible. Not happy about that, but happens. The speed of incants is much more important than anything else. At least right now. Because the Avowed Gladiator is going up with health. And because I had to set up on the top line, they're not, like, they're just going to have one melee weakness by the time I see them in the middle line. So I am kind of relying on the top line to actually be able to take them out, or them to be so sapped that it doesn't matter. Ancient Synergy is a real nice offering here to help get us across that line. By the time the Avowed Gladiator comes up, it's just food for the Horned Warrior. Okay. Jump block in front line, and I'm ready for my Puddle Hex. Ooh, middle line's getting pretty tough. That Avowed Gladiator is going to have a lot of health by the time it gets up. Oy. not as short on that as I might have assumed. Branding right dealing 10 or 15 on this line. Too much magic power. Where am I getting all this magic power from? Oh my god, it's the forgotten name makes it unplayable after the first cycle. Ridiculous. So I can lose 1 reanimate in order to gain 20 armor here. It's probably a really good idea. That Crypt Builder takes out the top line before anyone becomes a problem. This Avowed Gladiator is going to be a problem next round as well. However, with the right draw here, we'll be able to kill on the bottom line against Rax. And then I won't have to worry. Let's Crypt Builder you to the back of your own party, and then I'm gonna Ancient Synergy all your friends to death. And then guess who's getting Crypt built again? Well, not you, as it turns out. But you will be going down. Ritual of Battle takes you there. Alright. Come on, 400 gold. Oh, Guardian's Amulet with Offering and Spell Chain. In a world where I have 2 Offering tokens and I'm trying to sap enemy units, it's pretty much exactly what I want. Imp in a box that's intrinsic or Pyre Chomper. Pyre Chomper is a lot of energy, but it's only energy on a single turn. Unless it becomes endless or something like that. But then it's card draw that it costs as well. Whereas Imp in a box, on turn 1, 2 imps just come into my deck. And their triggers are doubled. Merchant of Steel, Merchant of Magic. It's got to be the Merchant of Steel, right? It's right, right, left. Ooh. Ephemeral Tome. Sorry, Ephemeral Emote Tome, rather. Create a ephemeral copy of his first spell you play each turn. Incredible. Spells get an extra upgrade slot, or the Cuddlebeard, but don't really do anything. But wow, there's the Endless immediately after. I was like, I'm not going to get Endless, so it's not going to matter. Oops. Incant gain armor 2 on Lone Totem, still relevant. So would Dualism be, actually. Maybe I should have rerolls. But I think I want to reroll here. Kinstone Totem! When a card is discarded before the end of your turn, gain an energy. Love it. And Consume Crown. Friendly units gain +3 damage on Slay. Okay, we gotta remove these stewards from the deck. And what do I want another copy of? I mean, I'm leaning towards the additional Nameless Siren. Just throw both of those on the bottom line with the Icy Silophyte, but I think what I really need is still more in-turn spell triggers, and these Offering tokens are just going to be incredible. For the rest of the run, they're just going to be gold. I took the additional health, right? No, I didn't take the additional health. There you go, Spear Steward. If I can't remove you, I may as well make you healthy. Actually, something also worth noting is the Imp in a Box guarantees that I have jump blockers in my opening hand. I wouldn't be able to play it and Emote Tome it as well, unfortunately. So I think this is fine. Take 5 more damage on the bottom line, but I get 4 more armor and 6 more rage for every spell I cast down here. That's fine. Oh, a Pyre Chomper to chump block on the bottom line doubles its summon bonus, gives us the ability to summon the Lodestone Totem. Now that's good. Multi-Imp chump blocks the second line. We get our Fight Club down. Having a Ritual of Battle for a bunch of additional damage on the Icy Silophyte right now so that I'm actually sweeping for most of the health of enemy units is huge. I just want to do as many spellcasts as I possibly can here, so Reserve is just going to give Frozen to 2 cards, which I will then play both of. And then I'm just going to also burn out the Vent. All in service of just making that bottom floor much more sustainable. Thankfully, my Icy Silophyte is still going to do incredible work down here, but that Deafening Herald is really causing an issue. Yeah, you're silenced, but it doesn't change anything about you, Horned Warrior. You don't have a trigger. Hell yeah. Let's get a couple Hex and a Spear Steward on that second line as well. I'd love to be doing incant triggers down here, but they're better for the enemy than they are for me right now. Cuddle Hex is just gonna leave a card in my hands. Swing and blink for chump block. Yeah, I just hold on to these cards. It's the great thing about the amount of Permafrost I have in this deck. Oh, get crit built. Oh my god. Get him with the Frozen Synergy now. Yeah, it's working okay on that line. I'm going to throw a Queen Simply on the very top line by itself because I really don't want to throw it on the bottom yet. There's a possibility I draw the Nameless Siren, just throw that on the bottom instead. Sorry, not the Nameless Siren. Already got her. This one's named Siren of the Sea. Hey! Entropy gets discarded. Entropy gets discarded and destroyed. Love doing that. Okay. So I'm looking for a very big damage spell that I can throw directly into Seraph Eternus's face. Oh my god. Get rid of those curses. So good. Finally! Take out the silence unit. Now I can cast on this floor and get an incant trigger. A single incant trigger before the end of the turn. Oh. Offering through Curse of Entropy, offering through the Guardian's Amulet. Offer the same Guardian's Amulet. I think I'm still significantly better off casting these spells despite the +5. I mean, my Dark Deal can't even take out the Deafening Herald because of the Titan skin from the Chosen Bastion right here. How dare you? I'm gonna be crypt building half of your field to the backline, I guess. Oh. There's what we were looking for. Still haven't even lost a stack of the Reanimate yet. Bodes quite well for our Titan fight, I'll say. I'll buff as many units as you have. It does not matter to me. I just really wanted to be able to take out the boss with the spell, but that's not on the cards. Instead, I'm just going to have to take him out with the unrelenting power of incant damage. And a Nameless Siren that simply won't die. Fight the Titans, and then... event number 2! Fecundity and Worth the Sacrifice! Fecundity and Worthy Sacrifice. So... there's a world where I could put that on the Cuddle Hex and still just fill the top floor with Cuddle Hexes. And then just, I sacrifice when I need resources suddenly. Okay, I've only just realized this. But Fecundity is a summon trigger, which means it'll get doubled by Ashes of the Fallen, which means that my whole deck will become trash. It'll literally just be full of Cuddle Hexes if I make Cuddle Hex that card. Eventually, I just have to shuffle back a handful of 10 Cuddle Hexes. That... hell, I wouldn't even be shuffling them. Fecundity is a problem for us right now. I actively need that not to occur, so I kind of want to put that on a unit that I don't want to summon. But because I'm putting it on a unit I don't want to summon, and I know that I don't want to Worthy Sacrifice both the Cuddle Hex as well, you can have the Worthy Sacrifice, and then Fecundity, probably just on a Queen's Impling, and I don't play it that many times. Alright, Titans, what do you got? What do you got? What are you gonna do to us? Malika's Shifting Pyre is fully healed, so... can't imagine too much of a threat there. Boiler Room, Icy Side of the Fight, and the Nameless Siren hit the bottom line. I do want Horned Warrior Tethys mid. I'm just very reliant on drawing a... oh, no. I'm not reliant on drawing it. I've got to remember, I do have Infinibox. That's how I can get chump blocks on the turn 1, even if I don't draw the Stoic Plate Mail, which I do. There's a Dark Deal. Yeah, spiking the Icy Side of the Fight's damage a bunch with the Rage is going to be really important. In fact, above 50, we'll be able to take out the Rage Wings, specifically the Chosen Rage Wings, before they even get to act, which is really important. Oh, nice. Double up on a Pyre Chomper there for additional energy. Let's get some additional shield. Molting Imp just to block the 5 Corruption from Dominion. Ritual Battle for the backline. So now the Icy Side of the Fight is capable of taking out the Chosen... oh, I can't even remember what they're called. They're the incant give 5 damage to all units on the floor. They're like a healing unit in the backline. They have 120 health, so the Icy Side of the Fight just eclipsed that. We'll take the opportunity to preserve... do I want to preserve that vent? Actually save it for next turn, maybe? I'm thinking so. I'm going to want to jump on the bottom here as well, so that the Misshapen Fiends don't give us too much corruption. So that's probably going to end up having to be a Spear Steward. Bottom line's not really going to deal that much damage to us. It's just entropy. So I wonder if I should move my offering token amulets to the midline, where I do really need to reduce the damage coming from both savagery and entropy. And then I can dupe that. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to draw an imp or any some such, so Spear Steward's going on the bottom line, and he's just going to probably take the full hit. Vent is definitely happening on the bottom line as well. Well, doesn't need to. Surely I just leave the kills for Icy Silify to get. Yeah, I just leave the kills for Icy Silify to get. I can't weaken her by playing the Curse of Entropy right now, otherwise I'll lose the bonus it's providing. Oh, but I do want to incant as many times as possible on the bottom floor. Start working away on the enemy's spell shields on the top line, maybe? It's just, it's not going to be relevant on either of the other lines. This isn't an incant line, and this doesn't need it. Perfect. If I can spike the damage of the Icy Silify to 170 at the end of this round, that'd be great. I can just summon a bunch of Queen's Imblings on the top line. Wait, no, this is the Worthy Sacrifice. I can't do that. It's not the fecundity one. Oh boy. There it is. The Lodestone Totem. I would like to stop taking damage, please. The Fight Club second on the next floor. We do have our fecundity now. I'll play one of you on the midline. Eh? Summon. Add a copy of this unit to your hand that costs +1. Summon triggers an additional time. It actively would be bad for me for it to be duping here. However, as everything is written, it should be doing it. Fecundity does not double with Ashes of the Fallen. I'm really, really keen to see the patch notes that come out alongside the Lost Arsenal. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Other than that, what do we need to do? Just get a chump blocker on each of the floors, I guess, because it's not going to fill the deck with trash. Not on the top floor, I'm just going to take the 5 pyre damage. I'm also going to summon this Queen's Impling at the back of that line so that I can just pump you for additional energy if I need it. And nothing else needs to be done here, so I can just hold that Vent. Vent especially is going to be relevant when the Silence comes out. Ooh, hello, Siren of the Sea. Urchin Spines, Urchin Spines, Urchin Spines, Urchin Spines, because it got duped. So now you have 12 spell weakness, which means the spell that I'm about to cast on you does 1300 damage. I can just hard play the Crypt Builder, so I'll discard the Curse of Entropy this time instead. And yep, that'll do it. We are down to 0 damage on Savagery if I want it right now. Courtesy of our sap. But realistically, I probably don't want to blow up that spell weakness 11 just to multiply a vent. There it is, Chosen Ardent. I did think it was going to start with an AR, so I seem to have just remembered that at least. You're just buffing units that will all definitely die? Is that true? Scarred Sentinel... No, the Celestial Bastion's not going to die before it gets to do anything. That's fine. Drop a Cuddle X on the next floor. I mean, these offering tokens want to get through all of these Curses of Entropy if I can. So I don't have to worry about damaging my perfectly healthy pyre. I don't want it to get down from its current HP. That's exactly right. Oh my god. Literally drew the offering tokens consistently there. We'll drop Frozen Lance. Ritual of Battle is now enough to guarantee that none of the enemies actually get to attack. Ah, right, so it's just the corruption on Nameless Siren. Coming down from Dominion in the 5 they already have. Okay, Savagery is dead this cycle. Entropy is dead pretty soon. We're just going to start having to dupe Pyolites. Oh, yeah, I'm playing Ancient Synergy here, 100%. Heal up the Pyre a little bit. Hell, it's even enough to get Savagery down this line? Is that good? It allows me to push more damage against Entropy on this line from my own units, but... No, I think this additional Savagery just sits atop. Alright, Emot's Tome. Do what you do best. Firelight. Firelight again. Offering token through Guardian Amulet. Offering token through the next half of the Guardian Amulet. The Dark Deal is doing so much damage on the bottom line, but it'll never kill the Icy Silify. Oh, you know what? I kind of want to... And I will! I'm going to Branding Rite it. Deal 11 damage and gain 20 health, so you're an easier target for the future. Definitely don't need that Queen Simply. I guess I could have used it on the mid lane for the Haunt Warrior, but realistically... Yeah, Dominion's dead pretty much next round. I just need to be able to cast a spell Clear on Entropy on one of the lines, which I can do next turn on the mid line. So just freeze the remaining card in hand. Twice. That'll do it. Crypt Builder on bottom line. No, mid line. 18 spell weakness. If I play Firelight, we go 170 against the enemy, and then at the end of the round, you die. Okay, so Firelight. Firelight. An offering token through. Oh, we got the second Crypt Builder. I might even be able to do it with spells right now. Offering token, Crypt Builder, spell weakness 4 times. I can't believe we actually had a run that exploited spell weakness. Like, granted, the Icy Silify does a huge amount of this. The Nameless Siren with the Dualism and the Incant Trigger, huge amount of this as well. But these Crypt Builders are doing 1300 damage. Nothing to turn one's nose up at. That'll be another victory. This logbook's got to be nearing half completion, right? No, yeah, not even slightly. Defeat the Titans with all clan combinations at Covenant 10. We are at 44 out of 180. That really deeply surprises me. Happy to collect it when it's got... spell weakness applied. 360. Previous best, 306. So you just jumbled those numbers around a little bit. Hopefully we'll get 603 and then 630 thereafter. Jumping to the run summary for a second. Let's pull a little bit of attention on the real carry of the run. Tethys. No, the real Gary of the run is spell weakness. Just anything that has spell weakness printed on it. That's not you. That is you. It is kind of funny to me that the Icy Silophyte applies spell weakness. Really feels like that would be the one that applies Frostbite. My beautiful, beautiful offering token. You've never let me down, and I know you never will. I think that's gonna do it for today. Let's head back to the outpost. Lament the fact that there's no MT1 clan combination storylines. Lost Arsenal, maybe. Shiny Shoe, please. For the moment, though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train 2. Top left is a series playlist for all my content on the game past, present, and future. YouTube recommendations down below. Streaming past are the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays out above the thank tier. And a special thanks this episode to Matthew. Hopefully you all have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully see you all next time.